Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Glacial Geek Kill Team Battle Report. I am Phil, the Glacial Geek, coming to you here from Savannah Line Games in Pooler, Georgia, where I'll be fighting a 100-point kill team battle between my Grey Knights and Jason's Death Guard. So the story that we've got going on here is that the Grey Knights have been fighting on this planet, taking care of a demonic incursion. There were Nurgle demons all throughout this planet that they've been fighting off and banishing. And as they were fighting through the sea, they came across a force of Death Guard that were here with the Nurgle Demons, and they decided that they're not going to turn down a fight with enemies of the Imperium, so they decided to take the fight to them as well. And the Death Guard are more than happy to fight the Imperium any day. So that's the story that we've got going on. We're going to be playing our own mission that we made up here. Basically, it's just like kill points. So what we're going to do is both of our forces are going to be fighting against each other. You're going to get 2 points if you knock your enemy, the enemy's leader, out of action. You get 1 point for each of the enemy specialists that you knock out of action, and that's what we're going to do. So we have the usual turn limits, and that's the way we're going to play it. So that's the story. That is the mission that we're going to be playing. Before we go any further, though, let's show you the two armies that are going to be fighting it out. So for the Grey Knights, I will be running from left to right. My leader, who is a Justicar with a Force Halberd and a Stormbolter. I then have a Combat Specialist, a Zealot Specialist, and a Demolitions Specialist. Each of them will be a Grey Knight with a Force Halberd and a Stormbolter. And then I have a last Grey Knight with a Force Halberd and a Stormbolter. And for the Death Guard, from right to left, we have a Plague Champion who has his leader with a Power Fist and a Plasma Pistol. We then have the Combat Specialist who will be a Plague Fighter with the Flail of Corruption. We then have a Plague Gunner with a Plague Belcher. He will be the Demolitions Expert. We have a Veteran Specialist here, Plague Gunner with a Plague Spewer. Then we have a whole bunch of zombies, so 8 zombies in total. Those are the Poxwalkers. All right, so those are the armies going over deployment now. I've got my Demolitions Expert over here. I've got my Combat Expert over here. I've got my leader. I've got my Zealot Specialist, and then I've got a regular Grey Knight over here. That's it for my deployment, my 5 guys. My opponent has his leader over here. We've got his this is the not the combat, the Demolitions Expert over here. We've got 2 of the zombies, the Poxwalkers, 2 more Poxwalkers up in the building. We've got 4 more Poxwalkers over on this side, as well as the Veteran Specialist in the back and the Combat Specialist in the front. So that is deployment for the Death Guard. So now we will roll off to see who has initiative going into turn 1. My opponent gets I got double 6s, so that means that I will have initiative. So I'll come back to you after movement phase for the Grey Knights here on turn 1. All right, so my opponent's going to spend 2 command points at the beginning of the game for Grandfather's Blessing, which is he rolls chooses the model, rolls a d6. On a 2+, that model gets +1 to hit and to wound for the rest of the game. But if he rolls a 1, it takes d3 mortal wounds. So here we go. Getting a 4, so he'll have +1 to hit and to wound. Pretty good. He did that on his Combat Specialist. Yep. All right, Grey Knights all moved up the board here. So that's it for movement phase for the Grey Knights. We'll come back to after movement phase for the Death Guard. All right, movement phase for the Death Guard. His Poxwalkers all advanced up, and his regular guys all moved up. So that is going to be it for the movement phase for the Death Guard. We'll come back to you with the Psychic phase. All right, into the Psychic phase. My guy over here is going to start us off with Cybolt into Dude Bro over here. It's within 12 inches because Grey Knights have a 12-inch Cybolt as opposed to 18-inch Cybolt. So he's going to roll here looking for a 5. Getting it with a 6. So that does 1 mortal wound to him. Does he have, how many wounds does he have? 1. 1. All right, so 5 up, Disgustingly Resilient save. No, so let's see if he's out of action. He is. This guy can see the zombie in the front. That's the first one he can see. That's the closest one he can see. Within 12, so looking for a 5. Nope, does not go off. This guy is the same zombie there. That goes off, but it perils. So he does D3 mortal wounds. So 1 mortal wound. So Disgustingly Resilient. Nope. So is he out of action? He's not. He takes a flesh wound, but they don't take flesh wounds or something, right? With the Poxwalkers? 1 second. Good. So actually, you have to do the roll for Perils of the Warp first on my Justicar here. So he takes D3 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds, so he's going to be rolling to see if he's out of action here. 5 would be out of action. I'm going to spend a command point to re-roll that into a 3, so he takes a flesh wound. And then the last guy on the side here, it was actually the middle guy that took the flesh wound from that perils. So now this guy over here is going to go against the first zombie over there. That goes off with a 10. So it's going to be 1 mortal wound. So let's see if he's out of action. On a 2, he does not. He takes a flesh wound. Disgustingly resilient. Sorry. Okay, he's good to go. Never mind. All right, Majestikar now is going to fire into his Plague Spear to start us off in the shooting phase. So he's going to have 4 shots here because he's in rapid fire range. These are going to be hitting on 4s, though, because he's obscured. Getting 1 hit. Wounding on a 5. Yeah, that's a wound. Regular save. No, disgustingly resilient. Does. The middle guy here is going to fire his rapid fire into the 2 zombies over here. He's going to put 2 shots into each. So we're going to go to the front one first. These are going to be hitting on 3s because he ignores the first flesh wound with transhuman physiology. All right, so it's going to be 1 hit. Toughness 4, right?
For Poxwalkers?
Poxwalkers. Oh, 3. So that is a wound. So disgustingly resilient. No. So that is he out of action? He's the front one had the flesh wound, so we're gonna see +1 to this roll. Yeah, he's out of action. And then into the second guy, getting no hits. And then this guy over here is gonna do the same thing into those 2. So we'll do the front one first. Hitting on 3s. So nope, that's in there. No wound on that. And then the back guy is gonna be 1 hit. Oh no, he was obscured, so no, he's not gonna take any wounds. All right, so that's it for turn 1. No morale tests have to be taken for anybody, so we're gonna move on to turn 2. We'll roll for initiative on this one. Getting, my opponent gets a 7 and I get a 9, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Grey Knights. All right, movement phase for the Grey Knights. These 3 guys are going to ready themselves. These 2 guys are going to charge. So the first guy over here is going to charge into his plague, into his Poxwalkers over here. So I need a 7-inch charge to get into the first ones. Ooh, and I get it. And then he's going to charge into him. No line of sight, so he's going to need a 7-inch charge as well. And he makes it. All right, movement phase. These guys are all in combat over here. His guy with the Plague Spewer moved up, as did these 2 zombies. Actually, the 2 Poxwalkers advanced up over this way. This guy advanced up over here, and now we're going to have some charges. So we're going to start with the first zombie over here, the first Plague Walker. He is going to try to charge into both my guys over here. So only one of them can see him, so he's going to fire Overwatch. Hitting on 6s. Getting 1 hit. 3 to wound. No wound there. So his charge distance here. 6 inches, I think, you get him into the front guy at least. All right, so now his combat specialist is going to charge into the front guy over here. He needs an 8-inch charge to get in, and he's in. And the last Plague Walker is Poxwalker is going to charge into him. Not going to make it with a 3. All right, so he moved his 3 inches for his charge up that way, and that is it for the movement phase. At the end of the movement phase, my opponent spent 2 command points on Cloud of Flies, placed it on him, so he can't be chosen as a target to shoot unless he's the closest enemy model. So, pretty cool. Alrighty, so that is it for the movement phase. We'll come back to you with the shooting phase. All right, into the psychic phase, actually. Forgot about that. So we're going to start with this guy over here. He's going to go into the first Poxwalker here. So this is going to be looking for a 5. Goes off with a 5, so it does 1 mortal wound. Disgustingly resilient. No, he takes it, so is he out of action? Now this guy's going to do it into him. That goes off, so 1 mortal wound. Disgustingly resilient. Does not stop him. Is he out of action? He is. Majestikar is going to go off. Disgustingly resilient. Nope. So his out of injury roll is flesh wound. And then he's going to have to do it into this zombie over here. So that does go off. Disgustingly resilient. No. Out of action? Yes. Nope. -1 because of being obscured and within an inch there. So he will take a flesh wound. And then he will do it into the Plague Champion there. That goes off with an 11, so it's D3 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds, so 3 disgusting resilience. Makes 1, fails 2. I've got to see if he's out of action.
Oh, he's gone.
Nope, flesh wound. All right, so into the shooting phase. My Justicar is going to start us off by shooting into the zombies over here. We're going to shoot 2 shots into each. So we're going to go with the first one, hitting on a 3. That's 2 hits, wounding on 3s. That is 1 wound. 5 up, disgustingly resilient. He's good. And then the 2 shots into the back guy, getting 1 hit. That is no wound. Same thing from this guy into them. That's going to be 2 hits. That is 2 wounds. 1 save, so 1 goes through. Injury roll, +1 because he's got a flesh wound. Nope, another flesh wound. And then into the back guy. 2 hits. That is 1 wound. Nope, no disgusting resilient save. Flesh wound. All right, so the Plague Spear is going to attack into these 2 guys over here. So he's going to have 5 attacks. So you're going to put what, 3 into the leader and yeah, 2 into 3 into the leader, 2 into the other guy. So we'll do the 3 into my Justicar over there. These are strength 5. So looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1 wound.
Reroll once for plague.
Rerolling once for plague weapon. So that's 2 wounds. These are AP -1. So looking for 4 up saves. Making them both. Woo! All right, now into the other guy there. That is going to be 1 wound. Failed save. So is he out of action? 4 plus 1 because he's injured, -1 because of the obscured. He is out of action.
I think.
All right, so my combat special, or my demolitions expert is going to start us off by swinging with his force halberd into the Poxwalker here. So he's going to have 1 attack, hitting on a 3. That is not a hit. All right, so now his combat specialist is going to attack with his flail into my guy. So he's going to have 3d3 attacks because he's got 2 base +1 for combat specialist, and those are D3 attacks each with the flail. So 3d3 attacks. So that's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks. Woo-wee! So these are going to be hitting on 3s because he has transhuman physiology. No, hitting on 2s. Right, because he's got +1 to hit and +1 to wound because of Grandfather's Blessing. So that's going to be hits there. So these are going to now strength. What is it? Strength +2. Strength +2. So wounding on 2s to wound because of Grandfather's Blessing. And reroll ones because of plague weapon. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 saves I need to make. AP -2. So looking for 5 up saves. Made 2 of them, but that means 4 go through, so it's 1 damage. So is he out of action? On a 5 he is. And now his Poxwalker gets to attack into me over here. He's got 2 attacks.
Hitting on 5.
Hitting on 5s. Getting 1 hit.
Wounding on 5.
Wounding on a 5. That is a wound. 3 up save. Oh boy. All right. No, it takes a flesh wound. All right, so into the morale phase of turn 2 here. My guy over here, I've lost 2 guys, so 2 plus 4 is 6. He's good to go. And now my opponent has some morale tests. What are the...
All the zombies are shaken.
No, you leadership 4, but if you roll a 1 for them, they're not shaken. So, because it's auto passes on a 1.
Oh boy.
So here we go. So we'll start over... No, this guy's good. I was the one that has that over there. So we've got the front guy over here. Is 2 plus their leadership 4. So then the back guy over here is shaken, and then the zombie over here is shaken. So then his guy over here is, what is his leadership? 7? I think it's 7. So he's got 4 guys out there. Plus 6, so he is shaken as well. All right, so that is it for turn 3. On to turn 4 with the initiative. I rolled a 6. My opponent rolled an 8. So we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Death Guard. All right, so movement phase. These guys all in front here are shaken. And this guy back over here moved, so he is getting over towards him. And he is staying in combat over there. So that is going to be it for the... that's it for those movements. Now we're going to do some charges over here. So we're going to start with the front guy. I'm going to fire Overwatch. Getting 1 hit. Getting 1 wound. That's cocked. That is good. So now his charge distance.
6.
He is in. And the other guy's going to charge in as well. And he is not quite in. My opponent's going to spend his 1 CP to re-roll that charge distance. And he's in. All right, movement phase. He's going to stay in combat. He has to stay in combat, and my guy is now going to charge into his dude bro over here. So his Plague Spewer, it's going to get 3 hits. Strength 5, right? So wounding on 3s. That's going to be 2 wounds. AP -1, so 4 up saves. Failed them both, so it's 1 damage apiece, right? And he's out of action. All right, so that's it for movement. On to the psychic phase. He is going to try to Psybolt him and not get it. And then he is going to try to Psybolt. We'll do the guy with the red hat. Why not? That does go off. So he's going to take 1 mortal wound. Does he get to absorb it? He does. Alrighty, so that is going to be it for the psychic phase. Into the fight phase, because there's no shooting that can happen since both my guys are engaged in combat and don't have pistols. So we're going to start over here with the zombies. So we'll start with the first one who charged in, hitting on 5s. So no hits there. And the second one is going to have no hits there. And into the regular part of the fight phase, his guy gets to go first since he has the initiative over here. So 2 attacks hitting on 5s. Ooh, 2 hits, wounding on 5s. Getting 2 wounds. 2. AP nothing, right? So 3 up saves. No! Is he out of action? +1 just because he's got a flesh wound. No, he takes another flesh wound. All right, so now my guy over here is going to fight back. He's got 2 flesh wounds, which means I'm taking a -1 to hit here, so hitting on a 4. That is a hit, though. Wounding on a strength +1 with the halberd, so it's going to be 5. So it's looking for still a 3 to wound. That is a wound. It's D3 damage. That's right, because he's doesn't have a save. So 1 damage. Disgustingly resilient. Yeah, he good. And my leader's going to put 1 attack into each of them. So we'll go with red hat guy first. That is a hit. That is a wound. D3 damage. So. Oh, he's going to fail at least 1 of them, so there it's going to be, so he failed both. Yeah. So is he out of action? He is. And then 1 attack into the other guy. That's a hit. That is a wound. D3 damage. Remember this time, 3 damage. He is going to be injured, and he's out of action. All right, so I'm going to spend 2 CP at the end of the fight phase to have him fight again, honor the chapter. So here we go. 1 attack, hitting on a 4. Hey, that's a hit. Hey, that's a wound. That's 1 damage. Oh, he might be out of action. No, he's not. He takes a flesh wound. All right, so that's the end of turn 3. I have to roll to see if I'm broken because I have 3 guys out of action. So here we go. Looking for 8 or less. Not getting it. I am broken. So here we go. I have to roll now to see if he is going to be shook. 2 + 5 is 2 + 3 is 5. He's good to go. And my leader is shaken. All right, so that's real good to go. All right, my opponent now has to roll to see if he is broken.
My highest is 7.
His highest leadership is 7. No, he is not broken. But we do have to take some nerve tests because of them. So each of these zombies is going to have to roll a 1. So let's see if he gets it. No, so he is shooken. Let's do zombie number 2. Nope, he's good. Oh, no, he's shaken. The other zombie is good. This zombie over here is not good. And then this guy, he needs a 1 as well because of how many people are out. No, so he is shaken as well. So this guy's fine. And this zombie up in front there is fine. My guy over here is shaken. He's fine, but he's shaken. So interesting. All right, so let's roll for initiative going into turn 4 here. I get a 9. My opponent gets 11, so we'll come back to you after movement phase for the Death Guard. All right, movement phase for the Death Guard. This guy moved up here towards my leader. Everybody else over here is shaken. His 1 zombie that wasn't shaken advanced up over this way, and he is shaken, so he's staying in combat there. So that's it for movement phase for the Death Guard. I'm going to stay in combat with him just because it's my best bet to do anything. So he's going to stay in combat, and he is shaken over here. So nothing I can do about that. So we will come back to you with the... Is there shooting? Yeah. No. Oh, yes, there is shooting. So we'll come back to you. Oh, no, we'll come back to you with the psychic phase. All right, so we got 1 psychic power over here looking for Psybolt. And it does go off. So disgustingly resilient save. No. Is he out of action? Yeah. All right, starting off the shooting phase, he is going to fire his Plague Spewer into my leader over here. So D6 auto hits. Gets a 6. So it's going to be strength 5, so looking for 3s to wound. Getting 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. 4. 3 up, no, 4 up saves because he's AP -1. Failing 1, I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. Nope. Is he out of action? 4. Yep, he is, because I've got no modifiers there. I was about to use that CP. Woo, he was going to use that CP, but he is out of action. All right, now my one guy here is going to fire since he's now not engaged. He can shoot, so he's going to shoot into this zombie over here. 4 shots, hitting on 4s because of the flesh wound there. Getting 2 hits. Wounding on 3s. That is going to be 1 wound. No disgusting resentment. +2 to this roll. He's out of action. All right, so that's the end of turn 4. So now we're going to have a morale test to take. I have my guy over here. So I have 4 guys out of action. I am already broken, so 4 guys out of action. +4 is 8. He's leadership 7, I believe. So he is going to be shaken. Pretty good there. I'm going to spend a command point to reroll that. I think I can do that. Yeah, I think a nerf test he could reroll. Into a 5, so he's even worse. Oh no, I can automatically re-roll it anyway because of I forgot, because then they shall know no fear. So now he is fine. I didn't take the CP, but he's still shaken. So then my opponent has to roll to see if he is broken. Yep, so he isn't broken yet. Still isn't broken yet. So now he has to roll to see if people are shaken though. So we've got 1 zombie over here. 1, he's good. 1 zombie over here is not good. And then your dude bro over there is not good either. He's going to spend a CP to reroll that. Into a 1 and he's good. All right. So I'm in trouble. So that's it for the, I mean, I'm just going to let him do what he's going to do because I'm shaking here. Oh no, that was turn 4. So let's roll to see if the game is over. Why don't you roll to see if it's over? Moves on to a turn 2. No, it doesn't. So that is the end of the game. And the fact is, my opponent killed my leader plus 2 of my specialists. I killed his leader and 1 of his specialists. So this is a Death Guard victory. And to be fair, since my guy was shaken and not going to be able to do anything this turn, I was going to have a hard time doing much of anything going into the next turn anyway. So a victory for the Death Guard over the Grey Knights. At the beginning there, we both thought it was going to be pretty brutal with all the way the psychic powers were working off there with the Psybolt on the Grey Knights. It's pretty powerful. It's pretty exciting. But the fact is, there's 5 guys in my 100-point kill team. You know, I'm sure I can get some shooty guns for these guys. That's what my next move is. I got these as a gift from a friend, so I'm going to have to stock up on some shooty guys so I can have some of that. But otherwise, I mean, there's not much that you can do. You just have 1 option for Grey Knight in kill team with the Grey Knight. So yeah, that was crazy. With so many guys, you just lose a few, you fail a few tests, and suddenly your army is really at a disadvantage. So it just goes to show you that, you know, that sometimes having a whole horde of people is helpful, and sometimes it's hurtful because those zombies went down pretty hard, which made his tests for nerf tests very difficult. He had to roll those 1s because he had so many zombies out of action that it wasn't really in a situation where he could really do a lot with. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I certainly have. I have been Phil, the Glacial Geek, as always. My opponent's been Jason. Until next time, have fun.